Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and this is today I'm going to be a Bournemouth Manchester United preview. This is going to be a pretty long video, so if you do consider drop a like on this video, and if you do consider subscribing, just press that button indeed. So going into the game, Bournemouth versus Manchester United, Jose Mourinho's come out in his conference and he said Manchester United, he's convinced that Manchester United will be in the top four by Christmas. This is what Jose Mourinho said. We currently know that our goal difference is very, very bad so far this season in the first 10 Premier League games. You know, with higher in the first 10 Premier League games, we've conceded 17 goals so far this season. The only teams that have conceded more goals than us is Burnley, Cardiff, Fulham, and Huddersfield in the current process. So going into the game of team who's going ahead of the game for Manchester United, I think Fellaini's out. Who else? Doylet's out, one of Jose Mourinho's last summer signings. Fellaini, Doyle, Scott McTominay, and Antonio Valencia is currently out with an injury as well. I think he's been doing some gym weighing in the gym, but I doubt he's going to be fit for tomorrow's game. Thank you for the light. And going ahead in the game, Jesse Lingard I think is fit. Jose Mourinho said he's going to be going ahead in the game. Also to Alexis Sanchez, there's been rumours that he could be leaving as well in the current process. Alexis Sanchez reportedly has been linked to a move away from Manchester United. Paris Saint-Germain have been preparing to put a bid in for him. Paris Saint-Germain were linked with him last year, so I think something like that. But he hasn't really made an impact since he's come to Old Trafford. Failed second half of last season. He's only scored 4 goals since he's come to the club. For me, we know Martial's been in absolutely fantastic form on that left-hand side. You know, so it's going to be hard for Sanchez now to get game time. He's just recently had a groin injury. I think Jose Mourinho could try maybe put him in that number 10 role. We know he plays in that number 7 as he did do at Arsenal, but Jose Mourinho could put him in that number 10 role to see how he performs. But we know that Manchester United have been thinking about sanctioning Alexis Sanchez off. Paris Saint-Germain were willing to put a bid in for him at the end of the season, Alexis Sanchez. So Man United have thought about sanctioning him off. You know, he's very, very good at Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. He was on 31 goals season, also experienced in Italy. Also, you know, very, very good at Barcelona as well, Alexis Sanchez. So he hasn't really made an impact since he's come to Old Trafford. You know, we've only had him since January, so he could be leaving within 12 months, could Alexis Sanchez. So, yeah, Martial's been playing fantastically well. In game as well, I think Romelu Lukaku will be starting, as we all know, in 9 months. He hasn't scored within 9 games. Something like he hasn't scored in 9 games, but I think Jose Mourinho said the goals will come. Lukaku hasn't scored in 9 games. But as I said, he said the goals will come. But considering his good record, you know, against Bournemouth in the previous meetings, you know, I think Jose Mourinho will start him. We know Martial's ahead of Rashford at the moment on that left-hand side. Martial got nominated Player of the Month with the list of other players. I think Aubameyang was in there, Ross Barkley was in there, Fernandinho was in there, Matt Ryan was in there, and yeah, that's who was nominated Player of the Month. We have got some good news, by the way. Manchester United have got Manchester City next week. Kevin De Bruyne could be out for up to 6 weeks at least, it did say on Sky Sports, so that's a good thing for us. So it looks like he's going to be missing the Manchester derbies. Kevin De Bruyne. Also Sterling, I think it did say on Sky Sports yesterday, he's on the verge of signing a new 5-year deal with Manchester City. Real Madrid have reportedly been monitoring him as well. City, you know, he's won the title with City. You know, they got him in 2015 from Liverpool as well. But going to the game, Bournemouth, to be fair, in absolutely fantastic form going into this game. Bournemouth, you know, they've kept 3 clean sheets in the last 3 Premier League games of Bournemouth. They haven't lost 6 games at the Vitality Stadium of Bournemouth. But they're in very, very good form of Bournemouth. And, you know, Eddie Howe's a very, very good manager. You know, got a lot of good set a bunch of players out there as well. There has been 6 meetings between Bournemouth and Manchester United. Manchester United have won 4. There's been 1 draw and Bournemouth won 1. The first meeting between Bournemouth and Manchester United was in 2015 under Louis van Gaal. Bournemouth had won that game by 2-1. Callum Wilson's also in fantastic form for Bournemouth. He's been involved in 9 goals in the first 10 Premier League games this season. He was the one that was also nominated for the Player of the Month as well. It did say France for Bournemouth could be out. He suffered an injury midweek in their game against Norwich, so he could be out as well. And Bournemouth unbeaten, since September, so that's very, very good from their perspective. They've won 6 out of the first 10 Premier League games, so it said Francis could be out. Joshua King, I think, is 50-60% fit, so I don't know if Joshua King is in very, very good form for Bournemouth, so I don't know if he will be participating in the game tomorrow. Don't forget, I won't be able to watch the game, guys. It's 12:30. It's BT Sport have got that game, so I will just have to get the analysis of it and just watch the game as well. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I think Manchester United should win. We've only, to be fair, it's not very, very good. We've only won 2 of our last 7 away games this season. Our goal difference is very, very bad, compared to the big teams, especially, they haven't conceded half of the goals, that we've conceded. We've conceded 17 goals this season. So we know Sanchez has been, as I said, so we know Eddie Howe is a very, very good manager. Bournemouth spent about £49 million in the last summer window. Did Bournemouth. They got 2 players from Spain. They got David Brooks in from Sheffield United as well. And, they've got a good bunch of players here. They've got David Brooks in there. I think he's called David Brooks. Charlie Daniels, Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson, Joshua King, Lewis Cook. So he has got a good bunch of players as Eddie Howe. And Eddie Howe, there were talks on BT last week. Should Eddie Howe go and manage a big club and leave Bournemouth? Because we know he's been at Bournemouth, the majority of his career as Eddie Howe as well. In his senior career, he played for Portsmouth and Swindon. Did Eddie Howe? He's won the Decade Award. He's won Premier League Manager of the Month, Championship Manager of the Month, League One Manager of the Month, as well as Eddie Howe as well, and he spent the majority of his career playing for Bournemouth and managing Bournemouth. He was at Burnley at one point as well, was Eddie Howe. So it isn't going to be an easy game. They haven't been beaten since September. They've kept 3 clean sheets in the last 3 games. Manchester United have only kept 1 clean sheet this season, as I said. But Lukaku does have a good scoring record, against Bournemouth, as we all know. But basically, anywhere... I will be watching the highlights tomorrow of that game. So Jose Mourinho escapes charges also. That's another set of breaking news. Jose Mourinho, as we all know, there's been rumours that he's going to be he wants a central defender. He wants an attacker. He said he's going to be getting around £100 million in January to spend. He's going to be negotiating this in a new rescheduled meeting with Ed Woodward, and they're going to be discussing Jose Mourinho's future at the club, as we all know, because he has been under so much immense pressure as Jose Mourinho. So he's looking for another attacker. He's looking for a defender as well. He says, we haven't got that killer instinct. He says we're still lacking. He still isn't satisfied with the attacking. He still isn't satisfied with the defending as well. But we know Jose Mourinho's been linked with the likes of Harry Maguire, signed a long-term deal with Leicester. Toby Alderweireld, he's been linked with him. But we know since Jose Mourinho's come, he spent £360 million on 11 players. Jose Mourinho, to be fair, has missed out on a lot of potential targets, as we all know. We all know there's also been talks in the press about Paul Pogba. He's basically come out as Paul Pogba, and he's basically said he feels as though Manchester United. He calls Manchester United his home, and he also calls Juventus his home as well. Obviously, the team he used to play for, achieved fantastically well with them. He had a fantastic, pedigree with Juventus, won titles with them. On all competitions with Juventus, made 178 appearances. Did Paul Pogba? We know that he has been potentially linked with a move away from Manchester United, because he's had a dispute with Jose Mourinho. As we all know, Paul Pogba, Manchester United did pay £89 million for him. He risen up the ranks. Did Paul Pogba, in 2012 Manchester United, Juventus got him on a free. He was there 5 years, and then Manchester United got him for the £89 million, as we all currently know. So Juventus, reportedly, has been talks about him going back to Juventus. Barcelona have showed an interest in the player. And Paul Pogba, isn't performing well for Jose Mourinho. He played well against Everton last week. He does have the odd game here and there when he does play well, but he wants to be, a player like him, because he showed it at Juventus. He was very, very good. He was winning, titles with them. But at Manchester United, he'd want to be winning the Premier League and all this, like we used to do back in the day. We've got Rashford there, who Martial, I think, is ahead of him at the moment. Rashford, been in Manchester United Academy, since the age of 7. Very, very good young age talent, fantastic experience, and he will go and develop like Martial, because, they are two youngsters. Rashford's won everything at Old Trafford, obviously, apart from the Premier League and the Champions League, as we all know. Jose Mourinho played him down the centre, obviously, against Everton, because obviously he give Romelu Lukaku a rest. I think he will be playing Lukaku in this game, will Jose Mourinho. And he did admit that the goals will come, did Jose Mourinho. He did admit that the goals will come. So Manchester United currently sitting 8th in the table. The lowest we ever finished under Fergie were 3rd, because we had years and years of success with him. 13 league titles, 5 FA Cups, and won a lot of honours with Fergie. All in all, the lowest we finished was 7th, and that was in the David Moyes era. When David Moyes only lasted 9 months into the job. You got 2 players in, Fellaini and Juan Mata. I think Juan Mata's been fantastic since he's come to Old Trafford. He's been very, very consistent. Whether he plays in the midfield or whether he plays on the right, I think he's preferred on that right hand side. He's Juan Mata, I think he's coming to an end of his contract. There's been talks that Juventus have showed an interest in him as well. For me, Fellaini hasn't really performed since he's come. We got him under Moyes for £27 million or so, was it like that? I think he's had the odd game where he has performed, but for me, I think he doesn't really play that much now. He's very, very static in that midfield. He's managing Fellaini. He was linked with a move away from Old Trafford a year or so ago. But yeah, and there's also, if you've been reading the press, there's been talks in the press also about David De Gea. Jose Mourinho did say last week or so, was it, he wasn't confident that David De Gea would sign a new deal at Manchester United. We know Real Madrid have been heavily linked with David De Gea, but we know they snubbed their interested Real Madrid in they subbed their interest in David De Gea, because obviously Real Madrid purchased Courtois. There has been negotiations of Manchester United and De Gea of potentially him signing this 1-year extension on his current contract. He is coming to an end of his current contract soon, is De Gea. He hasn't signed this extension yet. David De Gea is not too focused yet on signing the new deal. He's surprised by Jose Mourinho's comments, David De Gea. He has been at the club since 2011. He has, won everything here apart from the Champions League. He's won the Premier League, the Europa League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup as David De Gea. And he's risen up the ranks fantastically well, with Bilbao. His family's there, his relatives are there, his girlfriend's there. So I won't be surprised if he does go back to Spain. But to me, from De Gea's comments, when he says he's surprised, I think he's happy to stay at Manchester United. This is his 8th season here. I think it's just about time before he does sign this contract extension, David De Gea. But there has been talks of a potential replacement. If David De Gea does go, Juventus have been linked with David De Gea. There has been talks, if he does go, Matt Ryan's coming to the equation. I'm shocked at this. Man United have identified him as a replacement. To be fair, he's at Brighton. He's made 48 appearances for Brighton in the Premier League. He's also played for Club Brugge. He's also been at Genk on loan. He's also been at Blacktown City, I think they're called as well. And he's also been at another side as well. And Brighton paid £5 million for him from Valencia in 2017. This goalkeeper, Matt Ryan, he was in the list of October nominate. He was nominated Player of the Month in October as well. was the goalkeeper. So reportedly, if David De Gea, I think he's 26 years of age, if David De Gea was to leave, reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in maybe getting him into the team as well. So there has been talks about that as well. He made his international debut in 2012. Did this player? There's also, but Jose Mourinho, you know, we know he's still under immense pressure. Can he turn it around at Manchester United? We know he has won 3 trophies since he's come. We know this is a total different team to what Alex Ferguson had. He's still inheriting some of the team that Van Gaal brought in. But yeah, we could see a few players leaving the January window. We could see Herrera leaving the January window because he isn't getting that regular game time, as he did get under the Louis Van Gaal era. So we could see him leave. Mata, he's coming to an end of his deal as well. De Gea hasn't signed that new deal yet, but I doubt that David De Gea will leave. So Jose Mourinho's target is to get a defender in. I think Lindelof slightly improved. We got him from Benfica for £30 million. I think his first season wasn't that good, but I think he's made a slight improvement as Lindelof. But yeah, so we could also still see Paul Pogba leave. I don't think, Manchester United wouldn't want to lose Paul Pogba, as we all know. But for me, in that attacking players, I'd like the likes of Aubameyang. He's a very, very good number 9 at Arsenal. He scored 7 goals so far in the Premier League this season, I think. He's joint top scorer with Eden Hazard. Jose Mourinho did admit quite a few weeks ago that I'd love Eden Hazard into the team as well. Eden Hazard's world class. His work rate's fantastic. I think he's one of the best in the Premier League, alongside De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne, as I said, is more of a team player as well. But I do like Eden Hazard. Jose Mourinho's obviously got a good relationship with him. He's worked with Eden Hazard in the past as Jose Mourinho. So yeah, I still think we do need another attacker alongside Lukaku, as a plan B, basically, in case, Lukaku gets injured or, Lukaku's not on his best form, which he hasn't been lately, but Jose Mourinho said the goals will come. So I think we need someone to lead them lines up front with Romelu Lukaku. Everyone talks about him being a big game bottler, Romelu Lukaku. So some of my heated guys. Everyone talks about him being a good game bottler. I think we need someone on that left-hand side because we've got, Alexis Sanchez for me isn't a Manchester United player as he was under Arsene Wenger. He's definitely not a Manchester United player in my eyes. He's currently the highest paid player in the Premier League, as we all know. So he could be going at the end of the season as well. I think I'd like to have Ivan Perisic at Manchester United. Very good at Inter Milan. He did very, very good at Borussia Dortmund as well. Did Ivan Perisic. Inter Milan would demand that 48 million. This is why we didn't get Perisic, because Manchester United were reluctant to pay up to 48 million pound for Ivan Perisic. Griezmann doing fantastic. Very, very good with Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone. I'd have loved him. Very, very good in his Sociedad days as well. Very, very good for France. Antoine Griezmann, he'd have been a fantastic number 7. He can also play up front as well. He'd have looked fantastic on that left. He already looked very, very good up front with Lukaku. We're starting him because of Atletico Madrid's transfer ban. We've been linked with Bale, since 2013. We're linked with him under David Moyes. We were linked with him under Van Gaal. We've been linked to him since 2013. He's a very, very good player indeed. He is aging up. He was very, very good, Premier League proven with Tottenham, risen up the ranks for Southampton. Won loads of honours with Real Madrid. One thing that would concern me, that he's injury prone and that Gareth Bale is known for injuries. Manchester United didn't get him. Real Madrid at one point were demanding a high amount of money if Bale was to leave Real Madrid. Went for Danny Rose once, didn't get him. There was talks about him and Luke Shaw's potential swap deal. So, considering we have missed out on a lot of targets, Jose Mourinho still inheriting some of the players Louis Van Gaal got. Louis Van Gaal had a good pedigree at Munich, but he didn't succeed at Manchester United. Jose Mourinho's got a fantastic pedigree, but he's aging up now. It isn't working for him at Manchester United at the moment. But for me, you know, people saying the players aren't playing for Jose Mourinho, you know, considering this is our worst start to a season, you know, for absolutely years. You know, we used to be up there with the teams, you know, especially under Fergie, with that fear factor there. You know, we had fantastic players. And, you know, we were up there competing with the teams, you know, the teams like Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea, and we're just not doing this anymore. I think we're 9 points now off the top four. We're now Old Trafford's no longer a fortress, as we all know. But Jose Mourinho he's partly getting £100 million in the January window. We do need to see players come in, more players coming in the January window, because some players could leave January, could leave, you know, in the summer as well. Some pundits might say, you know, Manchester United, you know, we have got a good squad, as we all know, they're just not gelling together properly. Some people might say just leave it till next summer to get some signings in, but reportedly Edward was going to discuss, you know, about his future Mourinho's and, you know, what potential transfer targets he wants, and he's going to be getting around about £100 million. We spent a bit over $1 billion, or is it $1 billion? You know, in all the managerial areas, you know, since Fergie's, you know, departed from the club in 2013. You know, we haven't won the league since 2013. You know, we want to get this title, you know, to Old Trafford, you know, whenever that will be, I don't know. But we know there has been talks about potential managers coming in if Jose Mourinho is to get sacked. There's been talks about Zidane. Obviously, you know, he had discussions with his representative a month or so ago about coming to managing English football. He's never had experience of managing English football. His representatives helped him go to Real Madrid from Juventus, because he used to manage Juventus before Real Madrid as well. Another manager Real Madrid had, he's just recently sacked, you know, considering Real Madrid's absolutely diabolical start to this season, which hasn't been very, very good. They lost 5-1 to Barcelona, as we all know. But yeah, there has been talks about also Ante Conte, you know, won the Premier League with Chelsea in his first season. Also won the FA Cup with Chelsea. You know, he's also managed Juventus. He's also managed Atlanta as well. He played for Juventus in his senior career as well. Conte, you know, he's won Serie A Coach of the Year. He's won Premier League Manager of the Season, Premier League Manager of the Month as Conte. So there's been talks about him. Potentially, he's managed Italy as well. Potentially him wanted to replace Mourinho if Mourinho is to leave Manchester United. But I think, as I said, Jose Mourinho, very, very good manager. I think he's very, very arrogant, as a lot of people say. I've witnessed he's very, very arrogant. But to be quite fair, he's also very, very honest as well. In like his press conferences and his news, you know, conference. I do like a lot of honest people. As I said, I'm going to be doing another video after this. I'm going to be doing the Arsenal-Liverpool game this weekend. It's tomorrow, 5:30 kickoff. So I'm going to be doing a preview on that game, because that's a very, very interesting game indeed. So I won't be able to watch the Bournemouth Manchester United game tomorrow, as I said. It's currently streamed on BT Sport, so I won't be able to watch the game. So I'll be just watching the highlights of the game, as I said. But this club, you know, needs to start, you know, based on the history of Manchester United, this club needs to start, you know, performing, playing for the badge, and, you know, trying to achieve some silverware, you know, as we used to do, you know, under the Fergie days. Ferguson's no longer here. I think both are partly to blame. Jose Mourinho's to blame for some of his, you know, sometimes you don't have a plan B. He doesn't really make the right decisions, and sometimes it's just the players, you know, that aren't playing for him. And then, you know, some players could leave in January, as I said. Some players could leave next summer. There's also been talk, you know, about Aaron Ramsey at Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal have basically told him he's not going to be signing a new deal. He's not going to be signing a new deal with Arsenal. His current contract expires next summer. Very, very good player, very, very good, creative, tenacious, good, very, very good box-to-box midfielder. I'd have him at Manchester United. I don't think Liverpool are interested in getting Aaron Ramsey. If any team that wants to get him, you know, they'll go for him, you know, next summer, you know, when his contract expires, you know, to try and get him on the free transfer. If Arsenal are, if you and Arsenal are to offload him, if they want to sell him off, sanction him off, which in January, they'd rather cash in for the player in January rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. He's very, very good in his Cardiff years. He spent 8 years there as a schoolboy. Did Aaron Ramsey, as I said. So, yeah, Bournemouth, Manchester United, it's going to be a tough game, as I said. Bournemouth in very, very good form indeed. They haven't lost since September. Last 5 games in all competitions, won 4 and drawn 1. They won 6 of the 10 games. The last time they beat us was in 2015. Callum Wilson's been involved in his 9 goals in 10 Premier League games, as we all know. So they are in better form than us so far this season. Manchester United, as I said, have only kept 1 clean sheet. As I do think Jose Mourinho will be selecting Lukaku. As I said, Lingard and Sanchez, he says he's coming to the first team. Sanchez and Lingard coming to first team action, as it said in the press as well. It's going to be a tough game. Bournemouth got a good bunch of players there. They've got a good bunch of players at Bournemouth. Eddie Howe's, getting it right at Bournemouth. As I said, there were talks on BT about him going to a big club. We know he's never had experience of, like silverware or managing a big club. But he's doing very, very good with Bournemouth. Is Eddie Howe. He also won the championship with them, as we all know, back in 2015. So I think this is their 3rd or 4th season now in the Premier League, Bournemouth's. But yeah, I'm going to get straight on. This is my live video finished now. I'm going to get onto my Liverpool Arsenal review in just a minute. So anyway, guys, that's your Bournemouth Manchester United preview. As I said at the start of the video, drop your comments and likes below on the channel. Subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again. See you all in a minute.